The opening range breakout strategy, or ORB, is one of this channel's most popular videos. Now in that video, we showed you how to trade the basic 2-bar orb for US equities following the Wall Street opening bell. Now since then, we've received one question over and over and over again. Can you trade the opening range breakout strategy on the Forex? Yes. Now this video will show you how to trade Forex pairs using the orb. All right, let's do it. We can apply the orb to any market. We only need two things, a market open and a range. That's it. To trade Forex pairs, we must first identify when a specific market opens and identify which currency is likely impacted. This video will focus on two Forex orb setups, the Electronic Open and the London Open. Now, Forex pairs frequently trade sideways in a whipsaw fashion. To ensure that we have a viable trading range to work with, we will focus on the 30-minute and 4-hour charts. Okay, let's trade. Okay, this is the electronic 2-bar orb strategy for Forex pairs. Now we're going to use a 4-hour chart and we're going to focus on the first 2 bars after the weekly electronic open. Now this is going to give you a plethora of trades across your majors, minors, and exotics. Let's take a look at how it's done. Now remember, in order to do this, the first step is we've got to find the last bar, the last price bar of the previous Friday. So that'll be Friday's close. And then we're looking at the first two 4-hour bars, and those are going to be our orb, our opening range breakout. So as you can see right there, there's the first one and there's the second one. Now this will either be Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, depending on where you're at in the world. And that range right there is what we're going to build our trade on. So let's go ahead and build one of these out in real time and run you through the process. So Euro USD 4-hour chart, we're looking for the last price bar of the previous week, and you see it's right there. That's going to be the final price bar. So we're going to go ahead and click that and mark that so we can start our orb off. And what you're going to have here is a real tight little 2-bar 4-hour orb. Now, why would we do this? Why would we use a 4-hour chart? Because we got to have a range we can work with. A lot of times price action's choppy after that electronic open. We have to have a big enough range where we actually have a trade, a place to, get an entry point and a stop out. Now, great illustration right here and why we use a 4-hour chart. This actually was a fake out. Now, if you remember our orb rules, we're looking to go in on the first bar that really closes outside of our range. So if you do take a look at our range, what do you have? You've got a close right there. That would be our entry. This tail, this is a fake out, and that's why we have that rule in there. We want to make darn sure that we get in on the break, not a fake. So right there, we're waiting for a bar to close outside of the orb. There it is. Let's go ahead and mark our entry. You can see right there. Okay, there's your entry point. Where's our stop loss going to be? You have two options. You can either put it beneath the trigger bar there, or you can put it beneath the orb itself. In this instance, you could put it maybe beneath that spike low. It's not that big of a difference. Let's go ahead and be aggressive here. Let's put our stop loss right there, right beneath our trigger bar, and look to get in on our break. Okay, couple of ways that you can arrange your profit target. The first way is just market structure. You could say, okay, we've sort of got the top of that bullish market structure before we saw some selling last week. That area right up there, 109.45-ish, maybe 109.50-ish. That's not a bad top side target. The other way is just to use flat risk versus reward ratios. You'd say, okay, we're in there at 109.01. We're risking our stop losses at 108.75. That's a 25, 26 pip risk. I would recommend taking at least a 1 to 2 on this. I like 1-to-1 trading. You can do that if you'd like, but 1 to 2, we're really looking to get in on that breakout. Or if you use market structure, you'll see that pretty much a 1 to 2 lined up for you. So that is the opening week, I guess, electronic open orb, 2-bar orb, 4-hour chart. We get a nice range, then we pick a direction and wait for the break. Are you in the market for a broker? Before you take your next orb trade, check out switchmarkets.com. Switch can set you up with access to your favorite Forex, commodity, crypto, and shares markets in minutes. Open a free account today. Okay, the second type of orb strategy that we're going to look at is going to be session-based. Now, this one's a little bit more involved in that electronic open, which you can trade on any pair. Your session, you have to know which session you're trading and which pairs are most likely to get a lot of participation. Remember, with the orb, we need participation and volatility. That's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead. If you don't know the Forex sessions, you just go over there to Grok or ChatGPT or any of them, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to give you the breakdown of each one of these sessions and the timing. So you should be able to find this relatively relatively easily. Now, the biggest thing to remember with this strategy is, let's say you're trading the Sydney session. You're going to be looking at Australian dollar pairs, Tokyo session, Japanese yen pairs, London session, Great Britain pound and euro pairs, New York session. That's going to be your USD pairs, and also probably most of your European pairs, at least until the European market closes. So if you don't know the timing, figure out your timing, your session you want to trade, and then match that up with an appropriate pair. Okay, so this is a good look at our London Open. So the first thing you're going to want to do is identify when your open is. You can see right here, it's going to be just about at 1 a.m. Eastern, or 1 a.m. my time, 3 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be the beginning of your London session. So what are we going to do here? Now, we can use shorter time frames because this is session-based. We're not really looking at that weekly open. I'm looking at a 15 or a 30-minute chart, and if I'm going to trade the London Open, I think the Great Britain pound is an ideal candidate for us. So what do I want to do? I want to locate my first 2 bars. I'm using a 30-minute chart. I like the 30-minute chart, but you could probably use a 15 and be okay with it. You'll notice that the biggest thing we got to watch is our volumes. Our volumes pick up. That means we got a legitimate orb, and this turned out to be an absolutely fantastic trade that just went a little bit earlier today. Let's go ahead and line it out for you. The rules are the same. You're waiting for a break out of your orb. Right there's going to be your entry point. That's going to be our buy. Our buy would have been somewhere right around 129.43. Our stop out point, we've got a couple of options. I highly recommend, if you're going to use these shorter time frames, 15-minute, 30-minute chart, you put your stop loss beneath the bottom of the orb, of that opening range. There's really no reason to play that much tighter. You don't get that much of an advantage. The 4-hour chart, yeah, you may want to use that signal bar, but as far as a real tight, tight time frame orb, that right there, that's a pretty good stop out point. So once again, the rules are the same. It's either a static risk versus reward. I recommend at least a 1-to-1, but probably a 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3, because you're looking to get in on a breakout. And the other thing we could do is just use market structure itself. So as you can see, we've had just a great run in price action. It's been sort of a big day here for the Great Britain pound against the USD, and you would have been just fine really doing anything you wanted here. But that's about a 16 pip risk. So where would your first one be? You could be up here at, say, 59. That's a 1-to-1, and then another 16 would have been up here at 66, and then maybe if you wanted to shoot for something up here in the 80s, you could have got a real nice 1-to-3, and you could have also went back and taken a look maybe at some previous price action. The top of that liquidity sweep that was about a week ago was up there at about 129.91. That might not have been a bad target either. So that's the session-based opening range breakout. Remember, you have to identify when your session opens. The next 2 bars, that 2-bar orb, we can do that on a 15 or a 30-minute chart, and then you set up your stop losses and your profit targets just the way I showed you. That's the Forex Session-Based ORB. Trading the Forex ORB is different from commodities and equities. Forex pairs can stay in tight ranges for long periods of time. That's why it's critical to know when the market's open and build your opening range with a bit longer duration price bars. The 30-minute and 4-hour charts are a great place to begin. Now here's a pro tip. Manage your risk aggressively. Assigning no more than 5% of your capital to a given trade is a good idea. Now, flat markets can be rough on orb traders. Ride out the storm with strong risk management. Okay, that's all for now. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.